All right, folks, we're back, but we're just going to take a quick look at the bracket scene while we wait, as we're just finishing up videos and getting things sorted. We're going to be sticking to the American servers on account of the fact that it is still foreigner versus Korean. We're going down here to the losers bracket of Zanster versus Hurricane. This is still a best of 5. That much hasn't changed. It's just simply the elimination series. So I know other tournaments, people tend to do the winners match first, but we've always conventionally done the losers. Get that elimination series out of the way so it's all positivity going forward to see who qualifies through to the round of 8. This is, by the way, for those who haven't followed the TING Open, this is the last round of 16 group. Every other group played out before BlizzCon. Sadly, the Terran problem existed before the patch, as there are no Terrans left in the tournament at this point. Feels bad, man. But that being said, this will send 2 players into the round of 8, and the round of 8 is where we're going to be mixing and matching. We get to do the... Actually, I just realized, Zombie, we get to do the draw after this. We haven't got to do draws in a while. But yeah, we mix and match to the round of 8, guys. So, random draw, luck of the cards, all that stuff.
Cool.
It looks like players are just about ready to go. Also, thank you to all those who have been supporting us in the background of this. A lot of follows coming in, which is always feels good, man, as we get getting closer to that 100K mark. At 112 so far. But I'm going to push it. We're on that front page, guys. So if you're on the front page, come on, join us in chat. Hit the follow button. Join us here. If you got questions about StarCraft, now's the perfect time to ask. It's free to play. Nobody knows how this game works anymore. So get on in here. By Chaos Foofy, thank you for that brand new sub. Bruce Moose 96 also came back for 22 months. And then Pale Rider 1 Actual was a Prime sub just literally now. Thank you guys all so very much. That brings our sub count up to almost 1,078. Perfect.
Cool.
Bounce around those numbers. Man, we're never going to get another sub unlocked. Every time we get close, like, the number falls off the next day. The problem of feels bad, man. But okay, it's the TING Open. You're watching the elimination series, the losers match. Whichever one of these 2 players loses here is out of the tournament for good. Spawning to the upper right, we do have the blue Protoss Hurricane.
In the bottom left is the purple Zerg. It is System Gaming's Zanster.
And then Mike Moody. Oh, and Den City 12. You're going to see the alert in a second. It's just catching up. But thank you guys both for your Prime subs. I was going to mention before we get too far into this, because it is still, you know, foreigner versus Korean. European specifically versus Korean. The prize pool breakdown for the tournament is available through Matcherino. So first and foremost, by typing !Matcherino chat, you'll get brought to a page that shows the prize pool for the TING Open Season 4. There's some cool rewards. We've actually reached 2 of our stretch goals. One is Jesse's going to do, at the end of the round of 8, Jesse's going to come on stream live and do a backflip, which is a weird reward, but hey, it's going to happen. People loved it the first season. And then secondly, we're going to do the show match during the grand finals day. We just have to figure out whether it's before or after, or how we're going to figure that out. But there's a best of 3 show match, me versus the sponsor of the tournament. I'm rusty as fuck, and he plays Protoss, so, you know, I'm obviously going to lose. That's going to be happening as well. But I bring this up for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, top 16 do get paid in the tournament. So you can actually go to the payout section and see just how much. And 16th place right now is almost worth $50. So these guys who made it this far in the groups, even if they lose, they've at least made some money with the tournament. 8th place and onward, though, is worth almost $200. So it's quite a bit of an upgrade to go from 16th to 8th. So getting out of the group is still worth quite a bit. But also, last but not least, guys, there's SIM cards, there's t-shirts, there's all these cool things you can buy through the Matcherino store. And if you do it, I want to really emphasize, TING's not looking to make money or profit off of those sales. Those sales will simply go towards the prize pool. So if you buy a $20 t-shirt, all you're paying for is the shipping. The $20 goes to the prize pool.
Who doesn't want a TING t-shirt?
There's actually a lot of people. I was surprised how many people wanted them at TwitchCon. I actually, no disrespect to TING, I thought, oh, people aren't going to know who TING are. People aren't going to care what TING is. But, like, they gave away, like, all their shirts and a bunch of swag. It was really cool working with them.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's always surprising to see how many, like, people want free stuff no matter what it is. But I definitely wanted the sports sweatshirt, which I got, so I was pretty happy. And,
yeah, I got mine on my couch.
Yeah. So, Stargate opener, Hurricane did not have a very fun time against Denver. I don't really want to say that it was because Denver was really fantastically good. He definitely played very well, but it kind of felt more like Hurricane was at a bit of a loss of how to execute versus Zerg. Like, I know this guy's had good PvZ, but with perhaps the new builds he's trying out, it's throwing him off.
No, I agree. And I mean, he's been kicking ass and taking names in all the Korean tournaments, and it can't just be because he's fighting versus Terran, but like, I'm kind of worried that that may be the case because it wasn't like builds or composition, it was how he handled his units, really, that cost him the previous series.
Yeah, very odd to see. Maybe need an extended warm up. So in the game 5, this would be game 5 of his PvZs. Zanster had a little bit of a chill break, I suppose, to recollect himself after a painful ZvZ 3-0 loss from Impact. And maybe he was even watching those games from Denver. He was a little AFK, so I don't know, maybe just making a sandwich. But if he did, then he might have seen that Hurricane seems pretty weak against Zerg.
Oh, it's a good sandwich if you're not watching the series, trying to get up on your opponent. Thank you, NothingMan32, for the 32 months. Oh, that's perfect. You're no longer allowed to sub anymore. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you for the 32 months. And then Cliff Mo coming with that prime sub just in time before the attack. Whoa. Stacks up the drones to pull him away from the adepts. A little too close to the stasis trap. Almost gets his adepts caught, or the drones caught in it.
That was very clever by Hurricane. But Zanster with a nice reaction. The lack of Queen DPS is a little annoying because that one adept over there probably would already be dead if she hadn't been stasis trapped, but they are finally going to go down. 5 drones, though, for 2 adepts, and that much, like, you know, just bother. I'd say that's pretty worth.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. It wasn't game-ending damage by any means either, but not too shabby at all for the value of what just happened. Third base starts going up behind this too, hoping that Zanster's not going to attack, but Zanster is going to attack, and he's going to pounce on the single adept defending. He'll get the pylon too. I don't know if he'll get a full Nexus kill / cancel, but it'll at least cause a lot of chaos for this base. And in fact, that Oracle should be able to save this, I want to say.
Yeah, the Oracle is pretty instrumental in defending the third base if you're not going to have at least 3 adepts there. And because he lost the 2 on the front lines, well then, hey, that makes sense, right? The Oracle has to come back, pop its energy. I was checking, Hurricane has 4 gateways right now, going into like really, really fast charge and High Templar, so very quickly into charge Archon. If he got a Warp Prism, which he does have a Robo, he could get... Oh, he already has one. There you go. Then he could form an attack, actually, which it might be his exact plan.
Oh, I just thought the sickest thing you could do with this attack. So, like, you do the conventional, like, double Archon Warp Prism thing, right? Bring a probe with you, and while it's warping in the DTs, start building a shield battery so you have a point to fall back to. And just use the Warp Prism to power it.
Sounds like kind of a cool idea, but
well,
you have to move the Warp Prism eventually.
Right, but what I always think about is like what puts an end to these attacks is rarely the Archons getting picked off, but usually the Warp Prism getting low. The shield battery could just refuel that Warp Prism anytime it took damage.
Well, how are we thinking about that theoretically? These Archons just did way too much damage.
Yeah, the drone's getting
Zanster has like no army.
What little army he has just died on the attack on the other side of the map. Hydra's going to be popping here 1 or 2 at a time. The fact that he had to pull the drones was already more than enough damage done, not to mention killing several things in the process. And alright, so last game didn't work out, but I want to point out that I feel like Denver was putting a lot more pressure on through Roach play and other things. The Hurricane was never allowed the freedom to go for these builds.
Well, certainly Hurricane went for a different build this game. One that is a lot more like, you know, 1 or 2 months ago, and that worked out much better. But then, of course, I gotta mention that another part of it is just Zanster not reacting very well, not having an army ready to go, losing those lings on the side of the map. It was very different.
Very different indeed. By the way, big shoutouts to GoatBoy1975. I thought 44 months was going to be the only big one we saw today, but we got 43 months with this guy. So thank you for that long-ass time support in the channel. The fact that we have anybody at like 40 months at all blows me away, much less above 40 months. But alright, we're going to have the next map go up. It's Neon Violet Square. This one can be a little bit awkward with the blockers in the middle of the map, so we'll see how these guys play around it. So I just realized what is going on. I'm gonna just show you guys why am I friends with a Vilo? What? No, let's just go ahead and fix this real quick. Oh my god. Oh,
why
so
would
much
you be?
better? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Hey, speaking of big ass resubs, thank you, Mr. Boris Makarov. That's our head mod, by the way. If you guys ever have any questions or concerns about mods on the channel, Mr. Boris Makarov is the guy to go to. 41 months. Thank you very much, dude. Also, again, that sub gifting room, really want to make use of today, guys. We're giving out 2 subs through it. I'm hoping I really hope other people will pick this up too. Other generous souls on the chat are willing to like pick names out of that list and possibly gift them some subs. But the very minimum, we're going to be doing as many as I can today to squeeze in. So exclamation mark sub gift in chat if you still don't know what I'm talking about. But folks, we're getting into game number 2. Spawning here in the upper left, it is going to be the foreign Zerg player, Psystorm Gaming's Zanster.
In the bottom right as the red Protoss. He's Hurricane.
Jansoon wants to be my real ID friend, but he doesn't even subscribe to the channel. Worst sponsor ever. Actually, real Jansoon in chat, I will give a bit of a nod to. He's not sponsored this tournament, so I can't talk too much about it, guys. But he's the guy from the Yord Wood watches. If you've seen those sexy watches, I love showing them off every chance I get. He's the mastermind behind all that. And, well, this isn't public information, I'll spoil this much. He's going to actually be playing something on the channel in the nearish future, so keep your eyes out for that. Sub for sub, he says. Get the fuck out of here. Sub for sub. My god, it's been a long time since I played that game.
I kind of like mistakenly thought that was an actual game. I was like, it doesn't sound like that fun of a game.
No, it doesn't. But luckily, I don't know. I subbed to so many people. Guys, by the way, through sub gifting, if you don't know why we have limited sub gifting today, last time I went overboard and got my credit card and both PayPals locked out of Twitch, and I had to have 3 different people from Twitch and 2 engineers work to get me unbanned. And so I gotta take it a little bit easy. But since sub gifting has come out, I've spent over $300 in sub gifts. So. Hey.
Wow, that's a lot.
I like it. The trolley aspect of fake names to like giving genuine subs to people who want them that can't afford them to like my friends' chat. I love the idea of sub gifting because you not just help out the person you're gifting the sub to, but also the streamer.
Did you say 350?
300 subs. In fairness, that's Canadian. And so you guys don't know, it's like 625 or 645 to sub in Canadian. Like.
Ah.
It's still a lot, granted, but not as bad as maybe it, I realize now how that sounded.
I mean, it's not as bad as like my friend's League of Legends addiction, where she spent $1,000, but
per month on skins.
Damn. Well, a lot of people are probably very thankful, so there's that upside. What is happening in this game? So Hurricane, I just that Hurricane we saw last game, I just like so much better. There was a little bit of a blip where he didn't have a lot of production for using the adepts like he did, but very momentary, not punished by Zanster. And then when that was said and done, he had a build we saw him do for like many a times in the past 6 months. Not really catered toward this recent patch, but rather just a good solid Protoss follow-up. It is a bit of a surprise move, but not so unexpected that Zanster just be like, wow, I had no idea. It just really was, I think, a mixture of bad calls, bad timing. Hiders are on the way, but not out. Lings are used to counter, not by time, like that sort of thing.
I mean, the thing, too, for me, I said it earlier, and I'll still stand by it, even if he loses like 0-3. Zanster's a really good player, and he didn't get to the round of 16 through accidents and luck. I really feel like that first game was just like a really bad representation. And the first series against Impact, ZvZ against Korean Zerg, not much easier.
Yeah. Okay, so another solid opener. Dark Shrine is going to be scouted by the Overlord, but this has not been dependent on being kept hidden for some time. So it kind of sucks he couldn't do anything about that. He really couldn't do anything about it. It's something that shoots up.
Who's this that just came into our live? Shaunison for 11 months. Whoa, that's 1 month away from the Partoof. Says good old base trade times with ZG and Rivka, and here is my part for it to continue. Aw. It's awfully nice of you. Thank you very much. Third base should go off without a hitch this time. A, there's not a lot of Zerglings coming, but B, there's actually Adepts at home to defend it, so That paired up with a shield battery or two should make for no problem getting that base up.
Yeah.
Overlord did get deep enough to see the Dark Shrine. It's not so weird, though. You're not really looking for sneaky DTs. I mean, we talk a lot about Wings of Liberty time, right? But that's not the case. It's all about the Warp Prism and the Archons more than anything else.
Right. So 40 Ts immediately, following up with an Immortal in production. I mean, you can follow this up with similar attack to last game. You just, you know, you get that super fast charge and you try and bulk up with the Archons, but I don't know what that was about. Almost like you want to go after the Spore Crawler, but just picks the DTs up.
The Spore Crawler was in a bit of an interesting spot, too. A little bit more difficult for the DTs to hop on and focus down. Not to mention just probably better at catching Warp Prisms flying on the backside. But, alright, we'll see if this is a problem. Last time he got out of hand because there really wasn't much army, and a lot of the lings that he did have were out of position. This time there's plenty of roaches at home, a lot of lings. He's going to take losses to these Archons, but it's about minimizing how much he loses to them.
Yeah. Charge is finally on the way along with a couple of gateways. Chrono Boost is something else that has been changed. We didn't really talk about that, but Chrono Boost a little more powerful, especially when you just pocket every single Chrono Boost you have into one upgrade. So in PvT, you've been seeing even faster upgrade advantages for Protoss than usual. Could be put all in the charge here, and he could follow up again with that pretty significant attack. Not adding on the gases quite yet, not looking to go to High Templars. Kind of like feeling the attack, but charge seems like it's still a ways away. I don't even know if he's dumping Chrono into it. No, he's not. And he has a lot of Chrono. Hurricane.
Yeah, kind of look at the Nexus. Maybe he's just not used to those mechanics yet. He is doing a lot of focus on the Warp Prism micro, so that's a big reason on why he might be missing it. Thank you, Mr. Boris Makarov, by the way, being generous, subbing StavCod911. I don't know, this guy's been really annoying all day, frankly, but thank you for subbing him.
Oh, there's that big warp in. Well, it's going to be bigger. There we go. There's the big warp in. And that is a pretty powerful attack right there. He might have also just been doing like the exact same timing as it used to be. So why even bother chronoing the charge? I don't know. It's around 7 minutes. And can Zanster hold? I don't know.
Oh, good concave at the top of the ramp's going to make this look possible.
Yeah, very
Hurricane
possible.
has to fall back.
Yeah, that didn't go so hot. And Hurricane, well, that's pretty bad for Hurricane. Zanster was so well prepared, didn't, you know, get greedy over drone or like over tech, I suppose. Hurricane has to slap down his gases and go into High Templars and try and Chrono Outstorm. Again, Chrono Outstorm.
Yeah, so I guess while we have a moment to talk about it, you guys will notice the energy bar on the Nexus. This is not just for the new recall ability that we had briefly gone over before, but it is also just straight up Chrono Boost. Instead of having a really slow but always on passive Chrono Boost, now you have this like super Chrono Boost, 10 seconds, 100% speed. And yeah, whether it's upgrades or just getting those extra couple Colossus out faster, either way, it's a really powerful mechanic to have. And the more Nexus, the more bases, the more Chronos you're going to have that are way more effective than they have been in the past.
It's really bothering me he's not using the Chrono that much. Because the thing is, it's not actually that new of a mechanic. It was the way Chrono was used in Heart of the Swarm, which Hurricane definitely played. Okay, there we go. All the Chronos on the upgrades.
I like this a lot, actually. So he's going to be using on the two forges. His upgrades are kind of late, considering these came down later. So using all of the extra Chronos to make up for time on this makes the most sense. Warp Prism almost gets caught.
Fourth base that Hurricane's getting does not have a lot of minerals, but it does have the same amount of gas as any other base. So that might be the most important aspect of taking it. It's obviously very safe, too.
Yeah, sorry, I guess for those who aren't familiar with Neon Violet Square, this is kind of one of the two gimmicks on the map, right? Like one of the gimmicks being these force-fielded things in the middle, but also your back base is less mineral patches. But it should technically be safer where it's located, so that's the trade-off. Big thank you to Mr. Boris Makarov, our head mod, continuing with that generosity, giving Smokin' Loud 63 a sub, to which he immediately responds with, "Oh my god, I didn't think I'd get it. Thank you."
Awesome.
Awesome. All right, a lot of shield batteries are also going to be awesome here for the defense. Whether they're healing each other or healing Archons, that's a lot of energy stored up.
Zanster is investing a lot of minerals and gas into tech right now. Upgrades, Overlord speed, and of course, trying to get up to Broodlords with that Spire and Hive. So if he took an engagement or was forced to take an engagement, like Hurricane just forced him to right there, he would be in a bit of trouble. He couldn't really reinforce as much as he would want to. Ooh. Finally a fight around these things? No, just kidding.
Mr. Boris Makarov on his alt account. Also coming in here. 34 months. Thank you very much, dude. That's like 2 times the whammy of a support.
Boris
Makarov. Of course, if you guys want some gifting done your way too, make sure to check out the sub gift command, join the Discord, all that good stuff. Tack over here with the Zealot's going to be driving units off the 4th base, I guess. I don't know how you want to categorize that, but the lowest base out of Zanster. Corso's going to catch his Hydras. He's not going to get much value out of this attack. This isn't going very well for Zanster. And, oh god, the supply plummets.
Yeah, there are a lot of Banelings in that tight little choke right there. The Zealots are cleaned up, not killing too many drones, but obviously distracting a lot. Zanster is just trying to get up to Broodlords, but he has not started his Corruptors yet. But Hurricane's not countering. He's just setting up his base and tearing down rocks.
Hurricane's got a hell of a lot of Immortals, too. Like, almost an abnormally large amount of Immortals, considering there's... I guess there has been some Roaches, right? But not that many. Immortals are still going to be good against Hydras just because they can take the damage, I suppose. But I'm looking at that resources lost right now after these first 2 fights, and this doesn't look good for Zanster, like, at all.
But his technology looks really good, so I would say he still has a significant lead. You're talking about those Immortals. One thing they definitely don't do well against are Broodlords. They don't shoot up. They don't take care of
Recall this
Broodlings
right
that
now.
fast.
Oh my god.
Do you remember that exists?
Coming from the backside like this isn't going to go well. He's not recalling. He's walking back. He might catch some of these units on the backside. Zanster is also kind of like, there's no way I'm getting away with this. This is like too easy. So he segments a lot of his units away and goes home with them to try and defend instead of just going full out with this attack. Shield battery's keeping a lot of units alive. Very few probes died until just now, and about 11 go down for this. But also 10 drones die on the other side of the map. So they're not exactly getting leads here.
Hurricane just doesn't... Oh, he saw Corruptors. Oh, I hope he at least starts like Blink or something. He has so much... Yeah, okay, Stargates do go down. He's so much resources, so many resources, there we go, that this could have been afforded a while ago, but he was too busy caught up in defending against the Hydras.
He has so many monies.
So many monies.
Hydras, please. Hello? What?
No.
That one person should have died. The answer wasn't A-moving. That was a silly mistake to make.
Yeah. Hurricane is already up against Broodlords, perhaps something he didn't expect. He saw the Corruptors, but hey, maybe he just caught him at a pre-Broodlord timing. Nope, not the case. Broodlords are done, and he has to just try and buy time to Tempest.
That is a beautiful way to approach the situation, though. You know there's so many Archons, so many Immortals. You saw almost no Stalkers through any of these fights. Broodlords are the absolute right answer to go for, but the problem is you can't recall Broodlords. Oh. And this Archon hit squad is not hallucinations. Oh god, this army has to slowly get back home in time. He's going to bleed out. He might actually, if Hurricane won, he could get back here and focus the Greater Spire.
He could also recall these units.
Yeah, well, that's assuming he has knowledge of recall, but honestly, I don't know that he does. And it's not even like mechanically is he comfortable using it? We've never seen him use it yet, so I don't know that he knows that's a thing.
Yeah, just keep forgetting about it. And if you are the recall on this side of the map, okay, he does. There you go. Hey, it takes a long time. It's instantaneous back at home, though.
Where did he recall to? Oh, up here.
There we go. So yeah, but that still saved more Archons, just letting them die to the Broodlords, and now he's attacking the 4th base now. Zanster can't keep up.
But it needs to be noted he can't recall these units. Recall does have a global cooldown, despite the fact that every Nexus can cast it. So it's about 2 minutes before he can recall again.
Yeah, but this was a much safer move. He knew where the army was. It had just responded to the Archons, so he could get out of there after sniping that base. Really nicely done. Hurricane, he added on Void Rays before Tempest, perhaps thinking there are more Corruptors than there really are.
So, I didn't realize he actually did get the Greater Spire too, by the way. I just saw that the hatchery go down and didn't think much more of it. The Greater Spire going down is a real pain because now he's remaking all of this, trying to get even the Spire up in the first place. If he loses any of these Broodlords, oh my god, I just realized this positioning is so good for fighting Broodlords. The Broodlings can't get surrounds in here.
It's a little bit funny that way. You still, like... It's still pretty bad to take any fights in those squares. But Hurricane has air, and Zanster has nothing to really deal with it. Hydras don't really count.
Hydras have never really... It's funny, even though they shoot up, they've never really been this stable anti-air. And in fact, a lot of situations, Queens are even better than Hydras. But Infestors are coming out. We'll see what he can do with these. Infested Terrans are pretty good now, actually, if that's going to be your anti-air source.
That's a decent point, but he would need a lot more infestors. If this base falls, which it looks like it will, it might not matter. Hurricane might just take the fight and win the game anyway.
Yeah, he should be able to crush the Broodlord and Hydra count here with relative ease. Not a lot of probes died. It was only a Nexus, and there's already a new one in the top right, so he'll just transfer over to that in a moment's time. Void Rays are focusing on the Broodlords. There we go. Prismatically aligning. There's that bonus damage. Everything here's going to melt. Storms and Void Rays, and this doesn't look good for Zanster. Oh, God.
No.
Everything's gone.
Okay, that didn't go well at all. Might have grabbed a base, but Hurricane has a bank. He has a significant gas bank, too, so replacing High Templars and Archons can be really easy. He knows he got the Greater Spire, so probably not worried about any more Broodlords. Isn't bothering to make more Tempest or more Void Rays.
Well, getting stuck in some of the chokes and funnels, it's proven to be difficult to move across the map for Hurricane. I'm still shocked at that. I don't even call it mechanic. That build this thing like this is the Archon's stuck. This shouldn't be a thing on a map. I don't like the terrain. I think it's cool, but I'm so surprised that went live.
I like it because it adds a little bit of a complexity to an otherwise very wide open area. So.
Oh, slow fungals feels bad, man.
Yeah.
The beauty is with the wider range, it does at least trigger all of the shields on the Immortals pretty much. But there's nothing left to follow through. Zanster down to 40 army supply. Luckily, guys, if you're a Zanster fan that's not the series yet, he's got one more game to fall back to. So if you are a Zerg or a Zanster fan, start sending him your energy Spirit Bomb style, and we'll see if he can bring it back. But he is on the brink of defeat, and it is time for a commercial break. So sit tight, folks, and we'll see you in 2 minutes. Thanks for watching. All right, we're... You know what? I take it back. This guy just redeemed himself. Stavka911, I apologize for calling you annoying. He just subbed Gatherbot, of all things. Gatherbot, who is recently our most timed out user in the channel. So I don't know what to say about that, but thank you very much. We also gifted a sub during the break to Jumbako, who had wrote a message saying, I'm Jumbako on Twitch and my sub ran out. I'd love to support the stream, but I'm in between jobs right now and can't afford to sub. So we got him for this 1 month. Thank you, Jumbako, for those kind words if you ever watch the VOD of this. But folks, it's game 3 and possibly the knockout. Spawning here in the top left, we've got the red Protoss Hurricane.
In the top right, as the purple Zerg, it's Zanster.
Also, thank you, Diesel Max Power, digging deep to that generosity to give Black Shadow a sub. This is what I like to see, guys. Whether you're doing it sarcastically, maliciously, genuinely, I love sub gifting. I'm glad it's a thing. And whether you're helping out your fellow chatters or whether you're just having some fun, I'm glad to see it happening.
Battle of the Boardwalk. This is a very odd map. A lot of chokes to get to your opponent's main base, or natural base, actually. And Hurricane is taking the gold, which I feel is going to be just more normal for the non-Zergs, except in ZvZ.
It's... yeah, I think this would be a lot to figure it out for the map. Like, the gold base, for whatever good or bad that it may or may not be, I still think the engagement paths, you take the middle of the map like this, middle of the map like this. It's that arena factor of, like, is it worth going through these skinny chokes? Is it worth doing X versus Y? And I remember specifically thinking back to Arena, right? It took like a good month before anyone really figured that map out in terms of like what became standard. And I feel like that we're gonna see some of that too. Like these fights, these chokes, these pathways, they're just gonna cause too much trouble while people learn the map.
Yes.
It's like a temptation that you shouldn't take, I guess.
That's exactly what it is. And it's very annoying, but you're right about comparing it to Arena. I would even expect Protoss to try similar builds with it on Arena, which is like a very fast, immortal, very small number of units, but like a main priority on the immortal pushes. It works to one Arena because as soon as you got through the choke, you're right up against their natural. Battle on the Boardwalk, when you get to the choke, you're not right up against the hash rate or the Nexus. You still have a long way to go, and they have a huge concave.
Yeah. It's so weird. I'm excited to watch this one evolve over time. The gold base, I hope, does not become a standard thing, but it's worth noting that Hurricane did go for it this game. Thank you very much to Captain Boo Boo, or Captain Boob Ooh. Thank you very much for that sub, man.
As I said, I feel like, because there's a funny thing about this too, the gold base that is, like taking it as a non-Zerg player. As Protoss or Terran, you cannot wall really at your normal natural. It's very awkward. You either wall the one choke and then wall the other choke like way far away, or you don't wall at all. So you kind of have to do like, you know, again, like Wings Liberty style stuff, where you put like your gateways in a diagonal from the ramp to your nexus or something like that. But if you do take the gold base, you actually can have a wall on both sides, both at the gold, which Hurricane has set up, and in your main, which Hurricane has set up.
Yeah, and he's done it with shield battery, which I really like too. So if there's like a surprise element to this, it won't be that bad to try and micromanage, I guess. Also, I see Katie the Neko in chat. Dude's looking a little bit naked, but don't worry, bro. I got a coat you can borrow. Enjoy. I'm me for all the months of support you've given us.
Oh, very nice. My cat usually doesn't step on my keyboard, but...
Which cat is it? That's the question.
Apollo.
See, Apollo's well behaved. Like, I would expect Nugget to be the annoying one.
No.
Blazer's too young, too stupid.
Oh. Blazer is kind of dumb. This Oracle hits before that Spore Crawler's done and grabs almost six drones. Oh, you beautiful.
No, the Oracle almost dies. Would not have been worth it if that went down. Ooh, it's a bit of a supply block. That's gonna be annoying. Only briefly, though. Malcolm, 2,608. He is cooler than Malcolm, 2,609. Especially with that Prime sub. Thank you very much, dude. Shield battery gonna be the first thing focused down here. I guess that's the problem. You don't have a backup shield battery, so a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
He's also not repairing.
Yeah, you could at least repair the gateway while he has a shield battery alive, but oh well.
So it's worth noting for those who are still unfamiliar with the patch and you're seeing the shield battery like WTF is up with this unit, like you cannot, there's no autocast version of this that will target buildings. You have to actually target a building manually to make it repair a building. Otherwise it will auto-target all units nearby. So there's some skill involved with the shield battery. Believe it or not.
Ha! Ooh, 2 Adepts getting a lot of damage done. Zanster not having the best opener.
No, this is bad. This is his last life, and he's already down 8 drones for the start. Oracle's coming back with a stasis trap. He's gonna catch all the drones. Run!
Whoa, okay.
The fact that he's not mining with them is still bad, though, in and of itself. This is not looking good for Zanster. He's been kind of chasing things around, microing it about. The income graph tells the tale of like what's really gone on behind the scenes here, and Hurricane's getting some pretty big leads. Archon and 4 Zealots might actually be enough to end the game. There's not that much army. The Hydras might be able to push this back, but new reinforcements, new Archons coming in too. It's gonna be tough.
There might just be enough Hydras. Actually, it looks that way. Archons better just be picked up. Picked up and run. Nice save on both of them. But Hurricane did a lot of damage, even with that attack failing. He knows his opponent's still on 3 bases, and Hurricane now also on 3 bases. Probably feeling pretty good.
Yo, I'm loving the sub gifting going on here. We got Mr. Boris Makarov coming in one more time. Give it Darkside 343 some sub love with the gift, and then Akuma Di Diablo. This guy's hooking up all the pro gamers. First Semper, now Probe. Probe, one of the best Australians, period, at StarCraft 2.
That's true. Very true. Oh, Zanster is going for an attack on the gold base, and Hurricane had nothing to scout that. So
the attack's kind of slow, though. It's like taking long enough to get here.
Good recall.
Maybe. It'd be a little bit dangerous at this point, I think. Too many Hydras, too many Lings already on this. Giving up the base isn't the worst thing in the world because he is getting some damage done behind this. The question is, where does he spend his next warp in? Is it defensively here in the main and reinforcing in? It looks like that's going to be the case. Warp Prism might get the next round of warp ins with those Archons. We'll see. But the Nexus should die here relatively easy, and then it's a matter of like stacking. No! He's not going to stay for it.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised he didn't snipe that. He would have lost maybe a couple of Hydras, but with the Lings as fodder, I thought he would be able to save them.
Like that for me was like, yeah, you get the base snipe, then you leave the Lings behind to cover the Hydra's tracks as they retreat, right? That's what that looked like that was going to be. But now with Templar on the front lines in this tiny choked out little spot, there's nowhere to split. This couldn't be worse for Zanster. He just gave up a really big opportunity to really hurt Hurricane, because Hurricane didn't really lose many probes through this. He lost 2.
Yeah, and his gas geyser, which is okay, he's even banking a bit here. Tried to warp in on this right side, but Zanster was on point. Scouting for that, still has yet to grab the actual warp prism, though. Still doesn't grab it, and now Hurricane could possibly meet up with that army that's on the bottom side of this map and go for an attack on this building fourth.
Oh, some of these subs. Maro coming in with a base trade sub, courtesy of Husky_Psy. Thank you very much for that. Does Maro still stream, actually? I kind of miss the days when Maro would stream. He's very, like, blunt and sarcastic, and I don't know, I like his personality.
The warp prism does die. That's nice. Hurricane, maybe too much focus on the harassment. Still has yet to move that army on the bottom, but maybe that's his intention. Maybe he just really thinks Zanster's going to continue pushing that gold base and is calling it. Because if Zanster attacked his natural or his third at this point, Hurricane would be so out of position.
Coming around the top side, Zlesky's also will get cleaned up.
Oh, wow.
I hope nobody's getting ads. There's 0...
Either the 1,000 people that just came in are getting pre-roll ads, or Twitch bugged out.
Yeah, you want to... We'll talk about this in a second, guys. It's very frustrating to hear if that was the case, but nothing we did on our end. Of course, people who are affected aren't hearing me talk right now anyway, so we'll address that in a moment. Recall does save these units. A good chunk of them, too.
So, Hurricane, not the best attack right there. Just lose a chunk of the supply, but has a lot of high Templars. Still has that gold base, mining from the last 3 mineral pouches, and still a fair bit of gas. It's always so weird. I always get the quantitative terms incorrect. Anyways, but Zanster is forcing his Hydras down that way, and will probably be able to grab it this time. Hurricane might even be willing to give that up because it is so low. He's actually moving down the map.
Live Tech. If that gets to finish, there's a lot of cool opportunities this opens for Zanster, and I gotta be honest, I would kind of hope he would go take advantage of lurkers considering the tech he's been going towards. But he did show Broodlords last time, and I imagine that's probably where he's going again.
It was actually a really nice move last game, but he just couldn't hit with it. You know, he built them, he defended with them, and then Hurricane dragged him around base to base, so Zanster never got the opportunity to hit before Hurricane got Tempests. There is another attack going on while the charge lots run in here. Storm scared Zanster's army off.
Say it's less of an attack and more of a retreat. Well, the Hurricane is attacking to Zanster, so I guess this is technically an attack, so never mind. Also, big thank you to Terminator for rocking that Brialee sub. That's the bad thing he wanted to do, because Brialee is awful. Also, I was so paranoid about this, I had to check. I'm looking at the activity log right now on the channel, guys. The last ads run were 13 minutes ago. So even if there was like a rogue editor / moderator out there with power to do it, they didn't hit an ad. So that leads me to believe there's something buggy that happened, because I guarantee you, we never play ads in gameplay footage. I always hated when MLG would did that. I've built our entire channel on never doing shit like that. So if you guys did see an ad for real, and you're not trolling us, please do me a favor and report it to Twitch, because that should not have happened. That absolutely should not have happened. Not during gameplay footage, and I'm actually a little bit mad that it may have actually happened.
It was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Very disjointed army here for the Protoss player. Well, not very, I suppose, it's just one immortal. Well, I mean, hey, charge on the bottom side, immortal on the one place, another army to the top side. So yeah, it actually was a very split up Protoss army. But taking on a split up Hydra army would probably go better had he had just 1 or 2 more storms right here.
Well, the Hydras are going to back away from the top side. This has been really awkward as far as, like, Hurricane's getting more damage done with some of these smaller attacks than they should be. Zanster is finally pushed back from the top side. He's not able to really easily deal with this. He's starting to get some good shots in here, but there's those storms. Backside comes in too. Takes out the Templar. He'll actually clean up this fight. This is really good for Zanster. Finally getting an engagement to go his way.
Losing that Templar to the backside of the Banelings was devastating. There are so many storms left over that could have cleaned up a lot more army, been a little bit more efficient on the trade. But even without that, Hurricane takes an okay army engagement. He's on 5 bases. That gold was never really fully torn down. It is running out, yeah, but now he's on a 4th base. So if it did die, it doesn't really matter. And he has already responded to the Broodlord threat. There are already Tempests made.
Yeah, he was getting prepped and ready for this a long time ago. Tempest will also be good at forcing some of the fights with the Hydra. That's still a heck of a lot of Hydras here on the front lines. Unfortunately, without any buffer for them, they're kind of... Well, you know, kiting isn't going so badly, but every time charge comes up, he loses another one. Archon Blast, he loses another one. So at some point, he bleeds out these Hydras and is left with not much. Because Zanster... This is his army. There's no bulked up round 2 ready to go. There's no gigantic bank waiting to max out again. He's invested everything in these Hydras and Broodlords.
Yeah, and that lack of a bank is really what's painful here. It is not exactly like last game, but Hurricane with a bigger bank, proper preparation for the Broodlords, faster this time.
By the way, between all these wonderful sub gifts and Husky Sai coming in just now with a 2-month resub, combined with Mark BT for 21 months, we are now at 1,096 subscribers, so getting close to that 1,100 mark, boys and girls. 4 away. Question is, can we make that happen? This is probably going to kill on the gold again. Oh, actually, there's some units responding. Maybe it won't be so bad. This is a problem, though. Like, Zanster has not relied on this gold. He's not needed this gold, but he's never been given the opportunity to comfortably get this base up and running.
This gold is definitely going to be more of a problem for Zerg players. It really is so out of the way that the drop and harass potential of the other races is a little too strong against it.
Not to mention, you're just not going to creep spread down there. Realistically, in any matchup, there's no good way to spread creep that way.
Yeah, unlike, you know, like Odyssey, which is actually quite close to you, pretty defendable. Gauge goes down in the middle of the map. Broodlords initially scared away the ground army, but then the Tempest came in, and they're the ones that had to run away because there's not enough of an army protecting them.
Oh, overlay says best of 3, now says best of 5. My bad, dudes. 6 infestors popping out soon, though, and I'm really curious to see how these get used. Like, fungal growths are not that impressive against this army, but this is where I'm thinking infested Terrans might be with 6 infestors.
The problem is storms. That was always a good response against infested Terrans back when they were originally overpowered. Was storms.
He's using all the storms and the Hydras. A lot of the Archons are gone. Well, actually, there's so many more storms to take that back. There's just like,
yeah,
so many storms available.
Without the Archons, the High Templars started to fall, so they're using their storms almost in a panic. Really, only the Tempest left over. No Warpers gonna warp in a couple more charge lots, but the trade was good enough. Even if this is cleaned up, Hurricane should win this game.
There we go. Infested rockets when they target air, guys. Look at that. This is surprising to me. He tries to recall, doesn't work at all. He gets 39 drone kills. He slaughters the bottom right. And while Zanster may have taken a decent fight and he's left with some okay army supply, this doesn't bode well for the future.
It's such an entire flip from the last series of Hurricane, where Hurricane was the one that looked lost when it came to engagements. The build didn't quite mesh. I guess he just went back full, you know, pre-patch mode, did a lot of builds that were pre-patch, and just felt better about everything, because he has been on point about harassment. The engagements have always been like wonky one way or the other. Banelings again hitting his High Templars, but then Zanster was also making mistakes, so kind of evened out. But Hurricane just felt better this series.
By the way, good guy, solid as dub. With that tier 3, ooh, so good resub, is our 1,100th subscriber. Of course, got to give some love to the other people coming in here. We got some gifted subs heading out over the score playing. And then Blood Dust for the 2-month resub. Scruff, McScruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652. Thank you for that prime sub. Husky Sai comes back for 2. And this is looking like Zanster. If he, with these infestors, could still capitalize on this game, maybe. Infested Terrans are really good with their upgrades. If you guys kind of forgot, Infested Terrans used to, by default, get upgrade advantages, and the Blizzard had to take them out of the game because they were too overpowered. They were too strong. They've given them back to the Infested Terrans. The Infestors have a lot more power to them. My fear is, though, they're also very susceptible to feedbacks. which is what we saw in the previous fight. So some fungals come down, he burns some energy, but oh, they pop off so quick.
It's a rather large concave of Hydras, but Hurricane has enough reinforcements, has enough bank that, again, even if he lost his 5th base here, that shouldn't be game over in Zanster's favor. Zanster's the one really struggling, super all in with this.
Yeah, he had an army supply lead, but being down to 32 drones, he never really bandaged the drone count. His economy is not really stabilized. In fact, his opponent's almost at 3,000 minerals per minute, whereas for him, he's just barely, he's not even on the graph anymore.
Yeah, this is basically. It's a little bit of a blip. Upgrades also finishing up for Hurricane. He has a very, very large number of probes at 85. That's why the engagements have actually been going seemingly okay for Zanster, because his army supply is actually higher. But that'll change very soon. In fact, with this Warpin, it just changed.
That'll change when the Warpin Nation attacks. Kill the Spore Crawler actually leads way for these DTs. I don't think he's got an Overseer nearby. Attack to the south side composites, and this is looking like a sandwich of death, frankly. All the Hydras in the wrong spot in this base, which Zanster needs very badly. And this base, too, which is still low from the previous attack, could easily be focused down. 2 bases going out. Oh, no. Zanster can't even afford to rebuild this.
Boop. Barely couldn't save it. A lot of High Templars coming in, a lot of Archons. They're going to have shield upgrades. Hurricane's army is better. He's actually maybe even lacking gateways. I think that's why he has such a bank. He just needs more gateways for the high economy he has. But this will be the last fight.
This is a slow pushback, but the storms are good. The Hydras are dead. Zanster will unfortunately be eliminated, but Hurricane will survive to go to the end of the group. Also, because I am all about transparency, guys, look at this. I'm gonna pull this up here real quick. Because this really bothered me, hearing that ads were playing during the game. Here's our display log real quick. I'm just gonna condense it so you guys can see. 22 minutes ago was the last time an ad was played on the channel. So, again, if an ad played, it wasn't by us. And I'm really upset that happened. People asking how do you report? You can use Cogwheel. There's a lot of ways to report to Twitch. You can tweet at them too, whatever floats your boat. But, yeah, that's a standard I hold to really high regard. Not playing ads during gameplay footage. I'm very unhappy that that happened. So I'm just seriously apologizing. Sorry that that happened, guys. Clearly not much we can do about it, but we're gonna go on to the winners match now, so we'll try and get some positivity back into things. Impact versus Denver should be a ZvZ. That'll be interesting. Denver kicked Hurricane's butt. I'm hoping he can do the same to Impact, or at least give him a run for his money. Either way, we also had Errol M81 come back for the 5-month resub, saying it's better to watch BaseTradeTV than eating a kiwi. I'm not sure what that quote's from, but this is thanks for all the entertainment. Thank you for the resubs. Dong Holster, again, amazing name. Every month I'm going to praise this name. Thank you for the 10-month resub. And I think I already got Blood Dust, but just to be safe, thank you for the 2 months. We're going to go to a word from our sponsors, TING. Once again, TING is a US-only mobile phone service. If you're in the United States and you're paying too much for your phone bill, TING might be able to help. What I love about working with TING is they're actually really transparent about, like, they're not hungry for customers in terms of, like, they want to cheat you and scam you into, like, a bad deal or anything. They will tell you straight up, use their calculator. If they can't save you money and their services aren't for you, they don't want you to waste your money or your time on them. They're really good people. They're really good folks. And the best part is I mentioned just now rates because they don't have contracts or anything. I know we already played the devices and the coverage ad. We're going to go to the rates commercial now, and we'll see you guys in about 5 or so minutes. Probably when we'll be back for the winners match. See you guys soon.